the introduction, because last time when we had Radic, we just forgot to do all of that. Yeah, it was just chat. But hello, this is Pat Lynch, and you are listening and watching Yaptopia with my co-host,
producer, former,
and there's Cindy Britton in the window. But you guys obviously can't see that. That makes for terrible podcasting. But we have co-host, soon to be award-winning.
I don't know if I won any awards.
Producer. Oh, yes.
We won awards as a group. You know, there's that mentality of like,
he's doing
we
the
did
team,
it versus I did it.
He's doing the team stuff. I know that he's going to walk away and just see there is a me in team. And
float your boat, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, but we not to get too enamored about ourselves. Do a quick introduction, because what we're trying to do with Jason and I, our objective, beyond world domination and uncovering all the truths known to man, is that we studiously comb Lyon College for the most interesting people that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Radic Shulga was with us last time and covered a lot of conspiracy theories. Radic tried to talk sense into us.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
We're radical on this show when Shulga is the level-headed one.
It went off the rails. Speaking of off the rails, we now have Nicolas Patillo, our director of international education, and we got a lot of things to uncover. This man is the one that will give us the truth. We want to know, as far as all the things we can't see that are out there. There's aliens among us. I'm almost a believer after a couple beers with this young man. There's giants, like literal giants, among us. We also just want to cover, just his world travels. Had him on the Career Pathways podcast, and I just remember a few golden nuggets that you got thrown out of a country, didn't you, at one time?
Yeah, I was deported and banned from Australia for 3 years.
That's
by Mr. Faz Gill.
Faz Gill.
Mr. Faz Gill, man. I'll never forget that one.
Oh, man. But, that was a horrible introduction. But hello, Nicolas.
No, I think that was appropriate. You talked about all the cool people you had.
Yeah.
And then how you got to settle for me. So I think this was a great transition.
Man. Well, let's start with that. How did you possibly get deported?
And it's probably the most ironic thing, considering I work in immigration now for F1 students.
Yeah.
But I was a student myself on a student visa.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. I was living in Canberra at the time, and then I got this piece of letter saying that. So I went to kind of rewind it for a second. I was originally there on a work visa.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was doing some rugby stuff, and I was working at a hospital and a few other places. And it just, I realized I wanted to stay, can't do any of the other stuff anymore. Right. So I do a change of status to student visa. I leave to go to New Zealand for a week. Yeah. And I do some hikes. And when I come back in, they never switched my visa. I still had a day left on my other visa.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 months later, I'm enrolled in school, and I get this letter saying, oh, by the way, you've overstayed your visa, blah, blah, blah. You need to report to something right. Lonsdale. And I ignored it for months.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to read that thing again. So I just set it off to the side. Probably 6-9 months later, I'm like, I guess I should see what this is about.
Yeah.
I go to the embassy, and they're like, oh, you need to come to the back room with us. They take me to this back room. There's 2 Australian Marines in there, SAS. Ready, armed, ready to go to town on me. They sit me in a clear glass room, and I'm waiting there for a couple of hours until Mr. Faz Gill walks in the door. And he's like, you've overstayed your visa.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? I was like, well, I didn't even realize it, man. What are you on about? This isn't me. This is some other Nicolas, right? Yeah, it's not me. Lo and behold, he didn't believe me. He proved I was who I am.
Right.
And he deported me and banned me from Australia for 3 years.
Faz.
Yeah, I know, right? What's up with that guy?
Even we love our listeners, and subscribers. We may have to unsubscribe you, Paz. That's enough.
No more Australian podcasts.
So they didn't go like full ice on you. No. You weren't like left the country kicking and screaming.
No, and I was really lucky because when I got back to the States, I appealed the decision because I was in touch with the caseworker.
Right.
I told them to switch my visa. They just never did it.
Okay.
So I got the appeal overturned, and I was allowed to go back.
And so when you forced out of Australia, did you go to El Salvador prison, or was it?
It wasn't as rough, I would say. I've seen those videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't hundreds of us per cell per se.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was tight quarters, right? It was
Whoa, damn.
Yeah. I mean, sleeping on couches, sleeping on the floors.
Oh man.
Yeah. Wasn't good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So now here we are, or here you are, and you're all your adventures on the other side of the world. Now, I remember you dropped a nugget about getting stabbed by a witch doctor. I can't let that one go. That's been with me for a while. Please elaborate, sir.
So this was a pretty good one. We were some buddies and I were hitchhiking. We were doing what's called Cape to Cairo.
Okay.
And so essentially the whole goal is to hitchhike your way from Cape Town, South Africa to Cairo, Egypt. Yeah. So not a problem, right?
Okay.
And so
not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem. There's 4 of us. We quickly learned that there's never anybody who can take 4 people at once. So we're having to split up into groups of 2s, and we're always planning where we're going to meet 3, 5, 7 days later. Anyway, we start on the east coast of Africa. Right, we make our way up through Namibia, we get over to Zambia, we get through Malawi and Botswana, and I mean, I'm skipping the part where we were stuck in an elephant stampede in a village one night because ferries don't run after dark. So if you don't make your ferry before the sun goes down, you've got to find somewhere to pitch your tent for the night. We'll fast forward through that one for now.
So you almost were run over by elephants?
I remember waking up. We had a solar alarm clock, me and this other guy, and we pitched our tent. We were super lucky.
Yeah.
Like the chief of the village, just put your tent down. You'll be fine.
Sure.
3:30 in the morning rolls around. All the dogs in the village start going bat crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking bonkers. And you can feel the ground start to shake. And we're like, what is going on? Obviously, we had more descriptors. Than what we're probably allowed to use here.
Right.
But so we feel the ground shaking. We hear the dogs barking. Everything's getting closer and closer and, stronger thud, stronger thud. Next thing you know, we've got people like trying to bust through our tent. And we didn't know what was going on at this point.
Yeah.
So we're grabbing for our machetes, our knives, like anything we could. It was the villagers trying to get us out of the tent because here come the elephants right down the middle of the village. And we're like, what the crap is going on, man? So needless to say, we don't fall asleep that night. We catch our ferry the next morning and we continue our way through.
Right.
On our way, our destination in this conversation is Tanzania.
Okay.
But even more precise would be Zanzibar Island.
Okay.
Right. And so if you've never been, I recommend the Zanzibar pizza. It's delicious. Great seafood, great little island. But the one thing they don't tell you is there's really no doctors on this island.
Okay.
Right. But what you do have is lots of alcohol and motorcycles. And so, great combination for, a 20-year-old. Right. And so, needless to say, we're getting kind of tipsy one night.
Right.
On this trip. And we're just enjoying it. Well, we decide to rent some motorcycles. And we're going to make our way around the island and just enjoy. Well, next thing you know, we're on the beach. I tip the motorcycle over and I get and I'm not wearing shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible decision.
Yeah.
Wear shoes if you're going to ride a motorcycle on the beach of all things.
Yeah.
Right? And so I get my foot caught in the spokes as I laid the bike down. I get my foot caught in the spokes of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And it just chews my foot up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. Pause for 1 second. since the beginning of time,
Right.
rudimentary societies have had a way to deal with wounds, right?
Right.
Like almost every society.
Right.
And I thought, okay, surely this is no different.
Yeah.
They've got to have a way to help address the issue. Whatever it may be, surely there's a
Right.
way, right? Well, no doctors, so okay. It also, what no one tells you is that this is supposedly one of the leading places in the world to be trained as a witch doctor. So the only thing that we could find at this moment,
Tanzania U or
yeah, exactly. Which they
Witch
call it
doctor
witch
U.
DU.
Which
Yeah,
DU.
yeah, witch DU.
All right.
Witch
Yeah.
Dr. Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. right.
Whoa.
And so
Got a new career path ahead of me.
I'm bleeding. I'm pouring
Yeah.
blood like Victoria Falls, right?
Yeah.
And we finally were driving around. They take us to this little clinic, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a witch doctor. And he leads me into a room probably about the size of the studio,
Yeah.
right? And if you can't tell, it's maybe 15 feet by 10 feet,
Yeah.
right?
Give or
All
take,
right.
yeah.
Okay. And so, but here's the difference. While this studio has windows and light gets through, they had windows, but they were all blacked out. And the room was filled with smoke. So as soon as you open the door, light floods into the room, but as soon as you close it, it's blacked out again.
Yeah.
They lead me over to a table. They sit me down. The witch doctor feels his way down my leg, and I kind of jerk. And I guess this is like the sign for him to know he's getting close to the wound.
Right.
Well, next thing you know, have you ever seen
So
these?
you can't see like
I can't see anything. I've got
Oh.
one buddy with me. He can't see anything.
whoa.
He's standing by the door,
Okay.
right? I'm over on this little table area.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen Ace Ventura When Nature Calls,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's in Africa and he gets a spear in one leg, right? And then a spear in the next leg.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is almost identical minus the second spear to what happened to me in my foot, which was next thing you know, like I hear him say something, I hear him I feel him blow on my foot.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm reeling in pain. I'm screaming. My buddy throws the door open. The light floods the room again. And there's a dang pair of scissors sticking out of my foot. A pair of scissors. Are you kidding me right now? Like an entire metal shear just sticking out of my foot. Like the one that's still bleeding from 30 minutes earlier
Sure.
when it got caught in a motorcycle wheel. Anyway, needless to say, we immediately left there.
So you didn't want to find an explanation on what? Yeah.
What are you going to say? We don't speak the same language. This is clearly not going to work, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the anger did not subside for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next thing we found, one of the guys with us was an EMT.
Right.
Right. And, thankfully he was there and luckily I knew him at all. But so he had some medical training.
Right.
We did find a vet clinic. There are vet clinics on the island. So he.
That's usually like that's like criminal. That's
right.
gangster stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to the vet.
So I couldn't obviously walk inside the vet,
Right.
but the way he describes it is he pretty much walks in the vet, pushes his way to the back to where all the medicines are. He's looking. Oh, ketamine, liquid ketamine. I'm going to take 2 vials of this.
Oh, right.
So
There.
if you don't know, liquid ketamine is used as a horse tranquilizer.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has recreational purposes also.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
But,
Elon's out there tripping balls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
Some say that's the black liquid that Art puts in his drink.
See? Okay. Well, for the next 10 days,
Yeah.
I'm getting shot up with liquid ketamine.
Life is good.
I don't remember any of it. I do not remember those entire 10 days.
But you must have got a great tan somewhere along the way.
We went on safari at some point, and I heard that was pretty good. I heard that was pretty nice. So that's pretty cool. Again, don't remember any of it. We made our way up to Nairobi.
Yeah.
And I got introduced to a doctor up there, an actual doctor, not a witch doctor. Right. And I'll never forget it. His name was Dr. E. Chung. And he essentially was like, yeah, you're about 3 days away from having your knee down amputated.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it turned gangrenous.
Yeah.
And at one point someone put a picture on Facebook and they removed it because it was too graphic.
Yeah. So it's all like yellow and yeah.
It was
Yeah.
literally like parts of it were like green.
Oh,
It was
okay.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I'm sure the witch doctor stabbing you probably didn't help with that either.
You could see the bone in my foot, like in my heel. It was this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like realistically, like what was the scissors going to do, right? Like even from like a witch doctor perspective, it's like
Well, he did blow on it first. now.
okay, yeah.
I mean, let's not
Yeah.
completely.
Maybe he was
interrupt
just
the
going to cut it
process.
off.
I mean, he was working his way there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Partway through a tendon, so
Wasn't that the old thing about when your head hurts that you know somebody will just put a hammer to your foot?
yeah.
You know, and
So you stop thinking about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hit
Which one
you,
hurts
yeah.
worse now? That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he was helping you in one.
Yeah.
I'll have to run an AI query about witch doctor best practices. For
Zanzibar, yeah. Be specific when you do this because it might change region to region, right?
oh god.
So yeah, that was
What was it? Dr. Wang Chung? Is
Dr.
that?
Yi Chung.
Oh, Yi Chung. Okay.
Yi Chung, yeah.
Okay.
And then what was so bad about that experience was that I could never get an appointment. I had to go to him for like several days in a row.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't get an appointment, I just had to wait at the clinic for like 14, 16 hours a day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Until he had time he could see me. And then he couldn't give me medicine, so he had to clean the wound and do all of this. But he was so tiny, and so were his nurses, that they couldn't give me medicine to put me under
Yeah.
because they couldn't lift me up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they would put me on their bench, their
Mhm.
table, and they would clean the wound out,
Yeah.
picking like all the dead stuff out
Yeah.
around it. And I could have no pain reliever because the only thing they had would put you under and they couldn't move me.
Yeah.
So for 3 days we did that. And then
Oh,
he wrapped it and sent me on my way. And I got it checked out again in Dubai. I got it checked out again, I think in Australia, and maybe one more time before I left Fiji.
now you made it to Cairo?
I did make it to Cairo.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was hobbling. You'll see the pictures of me in Cairo. I've got one shoe on and one sock.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
because you couldn't like put anything around it. Yeah. So
How long's the trip from Cape Town to Cairo?
I mean, it depends how lucky
But
you
I
are.
mean, how long did it take you guys?
A couple of months, like 2.5 months, I think.
Yeah.
Mm,
What?
yeah.
And what season was it? Did you do?
Summer for us. So we
So-
left right after mid-May, and I didn't get back. I was in all my buddies had just graduated, and then I had one semester left.
Right.
So I missed the first like 4-6 weeks of my last semester of
Oh,
school.
man. What was the attendance policy?
Yeah, right.
you,
I-
Mr. Patillo, you got.
they were all super cool. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. I emailed them all and I just told them, I was like, hey, listen, I'm
Yeah.
doing this trip kind of around the world. I probably won't ever have this
So
opportunity.
you never filled out a laserfiche form
No
that I got
laserfiche.
stabbed by
Yeah,
witch
stabbed by witch
doctor.
doctor.
I had
Yeah.
a medical excuse.
Yeah.
Can I get an exception here? Like,
Yeah.
no. But,
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's man. That's a great start. Oh,
it was something to say the least. But Africa in general had more stories than probably I'll forget more of those stories than
Yeah.
I'll ever remember. I mean, I remember we broke an airplane once in a field. We did a booze cruise up the Zambezi River,
all right.
which, if you don't know, has more crocodiles like per meter than the Nile. So like every 3 feet, there's a crocodile, which we got a lot of entertainment out of that one,
Yeah.
to say the least. But it was an absolute slugfest, but a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Now, here's a real question. What was more miserable? Was the weather in Australia or the weather in Africa?
Ooh. So, I lived, the whole time I only lived really, other than the 1 year in Canberra, I mostly lived in the tropics.
Mhm.
And so Africa, when we started out, so it's reverse, right? We left during our summer, but when we got to South Africa,
Right.
that was their winter.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't too bad,
Yeah.
right? But as we made our way up and we got to Egypt, Yeah, to go from the freezing cold to the burning hot Sahara,
Yeah.
that kind of sucked. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But again, South Africa was good because we did the world's tallest bungee there. We did some great white shark diving there.
So you bungee jumped?
Yeah, so it's what's called Blue Kron's Bridge. I think it was like over 200 meters, so about 600 feet for a free fall. So that was a pretty crazy one.
Okay, you don't have to tell our listeners, but I could speak for myself. I think two big fears bungee jumping. One is obviously that I'm plunging to my death. Probably equally is that I'm going to soil myself somewhere along the way.
Those are both very credible fears. Yes, hands down, hands down.
Because at least if I die, at least I wouldn't have crapped myself. You know,
everybody picks the pieces of me up.
That's right.
Yeah, he died a hero. He died stoic and cold.
The craziest thing about the bungee jumping was like you don't realize it, but you listen to somebody when you're doing something like that. So they run you to the edge. You're wiggling your toes over the edge. And then they're doing a countdown, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And then they just yell jump. And you're stupid enough, at least I was stupid enough to like not hesitate at all. And I just jumped.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine any other scenario where your life's in that much danger.
Right.
Where you just listen to someone when they say do something.
Yeah.
Right? Like 3, 2, 1, jump, and you go. Right?
Oh, man.
I think I would be more afraid to do skydiving than I would bungee jumping. I feel like there's more that can go wrong with a skydive than a bungee jump.
See, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
And I did skydiving in undergrad also.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that. So I've never been tandem skydiving. I did the course and started doing it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I love the most about skydiving over the bungee is that I had a backup parachute.
Right.
Okay.
And the backup parachute will automatically deploy if you hit a certain mark on the floor, right? So at like what is that? I think it's 2,500 feet. If your primary hasn't deployed, the altimeter goes off and it automatically deploys your backup.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no backup bungee.
Yeah.
Right? That bungee pops, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me was the worst.
All right. So then booze cruise, was that
yeah, that's the official.
Rented or stolen boat? You know, I have to ask.
To try to avoid getting deported from any other countries, we rented this boat.
Okay, good.
There were 2 rules on the boat.
Yes.
One, if you drink the boat dry, your whole trip is free. And so, so that gave us
challenge accepted.
That gave us a ton of incentive
to
get absolutely irresponsibly drunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other rule was if you didn't want to drink, you had to go to the second level. So everyone on the first level could drink and kind of, be as loud as they wanted.
Right.
I think out of everyone on the boat, there's maybe 30 of us.
Yeah.
And maybe 4 people went to the top.
Yeah, and of course it's soundproofed. You know, they're not going to hear anybody.
Yeah, you're not hearing anything we're doing down below in the open air. Of course not.
Oh, man.
Of course not.
Well, did you beat it?
We did not. And we tried. I was
going to say that's
we had some Brits with us, and they absolutely gave us a run for the money too. And I mean, we teamed up on this. We did everything in our power to drink this boat dry.
Yeah.
And we did not beat it. It got to a point when they finally docked, they put the kind of walkway back on the dock.
Right.
And it's relatively long, maybe 30 feet. And one of my buddies was the first guy off the boat. So everyone else is behind us. He's the first guy. This is a single way, bridge down.
Yeah.
And you can't slide by somebody, right?
Right.
This guy decides that it was the perfect time. The perfect time. He saw a crocodile and he had to go pee.
Oh, yeah.
So he thought it was the perfect time while we're all trying to exit the boat to be the first off, stop everyone and try to pee on a crocodile. And I mean, what else
makes sense at the time?
Yeah. What else would you do in that moment?
Now, crocodile justice would have that he would have lost his balance, and then it's like, that's like hello lunch.
He's not coming back from that one. Yeah, He's not coming back. From
That
the
would be
shore.
I feel like that'd be such a good challenge though. Like you got to like try to find the most absolutely like best drinkers and try to do something like that. I wonder if you could do it. Like genuinely.
I don't know. I mean, they
Yeah.
had a ton of booze on that boat.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you would need.
No, they knew what
Yeah.
they were.
They knew what they were doing. And look, think about it this way, right? Like that was, not to age myself, but that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still talking about it.
Yeah.
Right? They knew viral marketing 101.
Yeah,
man.
I want to. Yeah, it's
Drink
like,
the boat dry.
Yeah, go book that trip next on the list.
Oh,
Oh man, but yeah, not nearly as glamorous. I remember one time I was out with a sales manager out in Portland, Oregon, and don't ask me why, but what we thought we needed to do is to take a piss on the Nike headquarters sign.
of course you do, though.
It's like,
who are you, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't even know what we didn't have anything against Nike, but
did you yell victory while you were doing it?
and maybe I don't know. I don't know if we were quite speaking English at that point. It was just it was some kind of speaking in tongues or
That's
something.
right.
But
I almost peed on the Packers stadium on Lambeau Field.
there you go.
I was really close to. I ended up.
We're dogs making our mark.
Yeah, well, my dad's compromise was let's just flip off the stadium because I really had to pee and we were there and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And he's like, dude, you're gonna get arrested. We can't do that. And I was like, you're so lame. Like
You're so lame.
that's exactly what I told him. I was like, dude, it's gonna curse him forever, but now we've made a tradition out of flipping off NFL stadiums. So I've done the Houston Texans. I've done the Dallas Cowboys. I did Green Bay. I have yet to do Detroit, but that will happen.
We'll
and I
find
did Kansas
you.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit will find you.
Yeah.
Just try.
I'll
it.
never be seen again.
Just try
Just
it,
try.
Yeah,
But
please.
and then I did Kansas City too. So
Yeah.
I've been all down the Midwest.
Okay. All right.
You
Yeah.
got to start hitting the coastal route.
Well, I flipped off the Seahawks field from a distance, but that was way long ago, so it didn't count. I don't feel like.
No.
You
But
can't count that.
yeah, it's got to be like right up in the parking lot, like all the other ones were. But
All right. All right. Now to the important stuff.
Sure.
We're seeking the truth. This is one of the things that, this podcast we've dedicated, Jason and I have dedicated ourselves that we owe our listeners, subscribers, the truth. And Nicholas, you're going to bring it to us. So aliens, are aliens walking among us, or have they walked among us at one time?
See, that's such a loaded question. But
Come
part
on.
of me has to say yes, right?
Oh no, okay. I'll
Could they
I'll
be in this
say I
room?
don't. Yeah.
I mean, they okay. So there's a lot of ways to look at that.
Yes.
There's a lot of ways, but okay. Do you want to start with the idea of ancient aliens, or do you want to start about kind of modern day prospects?
Oh man, we'll go old school. Let's go all the way back.
Okay, so I mean, what part of you thinks that aliens haven't visited Earth and why? That would be my first question to you. Do you think they visited?
Yeah, true. Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
You're
it's
wrong.
that.
I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I just think it's really super cool. But I think that just the history of Earth's a little more boring than that.
Now, when you say ancient aliens, do you mean like an ancient civilization on Earth before us, or like aliens that came during ancient periods of time?
Well, so I would say it has to be more the latter than the former,
Okay.
right? Because I mean,
You can't really be an alien if you're from here, right?
Well, couldn't you though, right? Like
Yeah.
there's some hypotheses that say we're actually organisms from Mars. And so in that case, we would
Right.
all actually be Martians, not even Earthlings,
Okay,
right? And so it just depends, right?
I guess you would
Well,
define what an
but
alien
go back.
is. Yeah.
So, what were like the first ancient aliens?
Oh, I mean, you could start with Göbekli Tepe, right?
Okay.
That's a big one there in Turkey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, modern day, what has us down in Sumeria, areas like this, what,
Mhm.
8,000 years ago?
Right.
And Göbekli Tepe has been, it's been proposed that can go back as far as 15,000 years.
Right.
Right. And that's a megalithic structure. How I mean, we didn't even have organized societies at the time, much less the ability to move 20, 30, 40-ton rocks.
Yeah.
Right. And stack them up in stadium style.
Right.
So, okay, how's a civilization doing that without some kind of advanced technology? And if it was advanced technology, why don't we know that technology existed? And why are we just rediscovering that technology?
Oh, okay.
I also feel like you can't make that argument with the Egyptians too, where it's like the slaves, because Egypt was so organized as a society that like it makes sense that like they could build something like a pyramid, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, you are a very organized and structured society, but without a structure, that does beg the question of how do you do something so massive without like, if you're still like almost tribal at that point.
We're still grunting at one another, maybe.
Well, then, you know, if there were aliens then, what happened to them?
Maybe they've come and gone.
Yeah, they're done with us. I mean, one theory tells us that the whole reason humans even exist is because we were genetically modified and bred just to work for aliens to mine gold, right?
Okay.
And so if you subscribe to that kind of idea, then the whole reason we're existing and the whole reason they're gone is because, okay, they got the low-hanging fruit.
Right.
They had us do all the hard work for them, and they're like, okay, we'll just leave you to kill each other.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't need us anymore.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But all right. So then, so that's kind of like some of the early sightings. How does it take us to, you know, kind of take us to the present day?
Okay. Think about like, do you know a guy named Bob Lazar? Have y'all heard of this
sounds
guy?
familiar.
So
yeah.
This guy, back in 1989, he essentially, he said that he got recruited to work at Area 51.
Okay, in Roswell?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some people say Area 51 doesn't exist at all, right?
Okay.
And that may be true. But even more than that, he gets more precise in his kind of coming out tale, which is like, it was the region of Area 51, but under Area 51, there's another base, right? I think it's like S4 or something they call it.
Yeah.
And so he said that he's working on UFOs, aliens, all of this. And in fact, I think it was like 1989, this guy comes out and he talks about this idea of element 115. Have you heard about element 115?
Yes. Of course I haven't.
So, okay. But if you check out the periodic table,
right,
we've got it there now, right?
Right.
But in 1989, there was no element 115. It ended in the 90s.
Okay.
Right? Like high 90s or something, maybe 94 elements. But he went ahead and proposed that one of the ways that UFOs even exist is because they leveraged element 115, which created the ability for them to kind of levitate and move multi-directionally without, thrust this way, that way. They could start and stop, things like this. And so this would account a lot for them to be able to cover vast distances, right?
Right.
And so, and think about what is it called? The Kardashev scale. Have y'all heard of this?
Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm consistent. No,
yeah. But it's a good thing we're talking. It's good that you're here today.
You're schooling me.
Yeah.
All right.
So this was a theory I think came out in the 1960s, maybe later.
Yeah.
But I think it was the 60s. But essentially, it was this Russian scientist, astrophysicist, I think, who came out with this idea that we have three types of societies or civilizations: type 1, type 2, and type 3.
Mm-hmm.
If you put us on this scale, we're not even a type 1 civilization right now.
Or like 0.6.
Something like this, right? Like 6.64, somewhere around there.
Says who?
The two of us. Who else do you need? Right?
Says this guy that made the scale.
Because of his scale. So a type 1 civilization.
Man, he's got to be a Cowboys fan or something. Man,
he's Russian,
haven't won a Super Bowl
Russian. Oh, even worse.
Yeah, he's drinking the
We're going backwards.
Yeah. He's drinking the vodka.
We're 0.5 now.
Jeez.
But Russians are better than the Cowboys, right?
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, maybe not right. Yeah, maybe not right now.
Okay.
And so he says type 1 is a civilization who essentially can control everything on their planet. They can harness all the natural phenomenon, things like this. So tornadoes, volcanoes, tsunamis, we can harvest that energy and we can use it in our day-to-day lives, right? And like there's countries already that do something similar, like take Iceland. 35% of their country runs off geothermal heat.
Yeah.
Right. So
they have excess heat.
Yeah. So when you start thinking about it in this regard, we're inching our way there.
Oh, okay.
Type 2 civilization essentially is a stellar civilization where they can control the power of their sun.
Right.
Right. And so have you ever heard of a Dyson sphere?
Mm-hmm.
Not the vacuum cleaner?
Not the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
But I think they got their idea from this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Same scientist.
Same idea. Same logic. But essentially what they do is they harness the power of their sun, and then they send that energy back to their home planet. And again, they have
specifically by enclosing their sun in a massive, just absolute ball. So it's basically like a massive like thermonuclear
reactor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so then they send that energy back.
Right.
And then your type 3 civilization is one that runs essentially galactically.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can essentially harness the power of all the stars in their galaxy, which allows them to do things. I mean, if we jumped, some people say the idea is that if we jump from a type 1 to a type 2, that's akin to the same as us going from being, apes to Homo sapiens.
Okay.
Right. In terms of evolutionary.
So that's how far off we are right now.
That's how far off we are right now.
Yeah.
And so, so all of this circles back to Bob Lazar.
All right.
Right. And so Bob Lazar back in the 80s talks about element 115.
Yeah.
Which no one else even knew existed. They hypothesized it. And finally, come 2003, what happens? Right. Again, bring the Russians into it. It was a combination effort, I think, between the Russians, Americans, maybe some others. But they're running I think they take calcium atoms and they collide them into one another. They're running a collider. They run them into one another. And boom, which element is discovered? Element 115.
115. Yeah.
115. Right. And so how many years? That's 14 years after this guy said it existed.
Right.
Something he was already working with back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And this is how the aliens at least the alien technology, right, that he was working on was being powered. Right. Now, the biggest problem is element 115 as we know it is unstable.
It's very unstable. All the elements past like 109 they have like the shortest half-life. They like die instantly as soon as you make them. So they don't really have any usage.
But then there's a question. Okay, say think about it this way. If the universe is 14.8 billion years old, right?
Okay.
Our section of the universe is only what? 4.5 billion years old.
Okay.
So that means there's opportunity for other civilizations out there to be 10 billion plus years older than us.
Right.
Right. So they could have easily reached type 2, type 3 civilizations.
Okay.
And again, if the jump between ape and Homo sapien is that big and they're already at a type 3, the idea that they could have this technology and be using it, it's not that far-fetched. Right. So, they could cross galaxies and light years. Maybe they have control over wormholes.
But where are these aliens then? Because I only think of it just with I call it the universe that takes us to Pluto, right? And then that's
Pluto, the planet.
Yeah,
Pluto's not a planet anymore.
It's an exoplanet. Dwarf planet.
Oh, well then I got to throw it out. What about Uranus?
I think we say Uranus now, right? Which doesn't sound much better.
No, you got to give the kids a good chuckle. And
And I'm with you, Pat. I still consider Pluto a planet, FYI. Yeah. I guess the argument all comes from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let's blame him for this.
Yeah,
because I think it was his personal war on Pluto.
That it's a moon or
no, the issue is it doesn't have so it doesn't, for a planet to be a planet without it being a dwarf planet, it needs to have like a bunch of factors to make it a planet.
Right.
Like atmosphere.
It needs to have not even just atmosphere is one of the big ones. If it has an atmosphere, if it has moons, XXX. Now the thing is Pluto technically does have moons, but they're also like just rocks. So it's kind of like, you can't really call it. It's also so far out of the system that, it's like its orbit around the sun is so like slow, weak,
Yeah.
It doesn't have an atmosphere. It's just, at that point, it's just, it's kind of grouped in with these other little rocks.
I think one of the other big arguments is that
so it's like
planets,
the Tiffany Trump of planets.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a very accurate comparison.
Other planets have moons that dwarf Pluto in terms of size.
Yeah.
And so they're. I understand the argument. I don't agree with it.
Yeah. So present day, what's your opinion as far as the likelihood that there are aliens somewhere, here,
I don't know if there are aliens as much as we might understand them.
Yeah.
Maybe reptilians, right?
Obama.
Yeah.
Obama.
You never heard that theory where Obama's like an alien or an alien reptile or
I
whatever?
have now.
The real people come from in the inner earth and all that stuff.
Jason's gone MAGA.
I'm not saying anything about presidents, but hey, one of our presidents even talked about seeing a UFO. George Washington. He writes about a UFO sighting.
There's also
George.
Really?
Good old George.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird phenomenon in the United States area because like there's a lot of Native American cultures that always have like these, not necessarily even beings, but just like lights,
right.
And it's like lights in the sky, and it's like, how could you replicate that if we didn't even have the ability to make electricity yet?
Yeah.
So
okay, so there's possibility. There's some.
A lot of their oral histories go back centuries.
Yeah.
Right. Centuries. And it's not just in the American Midwest, right? It's South America, Japan, same thing. China, same thing. Look at the first emperor of China, right? He's said to have been of a descendant of dragons, right? And so there's a lot, I think, out there in terms of aliens being seen from kind of us walking out of Mesopotamia, right?
Yeah.
To who we are today in Arkansas.
All right. So then, if going from aliens now, there's just other things that just are among us that we're not aware, right?
Well,
giants.
I don't know that giants are there anymore. I think they've all been killed.
I remember you telling me though, but that was Ireland. Is that?
Oh, you got Northern Ireland. You got Giants Causeway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got folklore, right? What is it? I think the folklore essentially is that one giant lives on one side, another giant lives on the other side.
Yeah.
And the giant on Northern Ireland side, he wants to go see what this other giant looks like. He sees this giant. He's so much bigger than he is. So he dresses himself up in baby's clothes.
Yeah.
And when that other giant comes over to his side, he sees him dressed up in baby clothes. And he's like, holy crap, if their babies are this big, how big are the adults, right? And so he gets scared and he runs back to his side, and that's how he avoids conflict with the bigger giant.
Now, giant, what would be the kind of height of one of these giants?
And so I don't know about for this particular folklore, right? But there are stories. I mean, again, take a written history, right? Even in the Bible, right? You have Goliath, right? Who's said to be twice the size of a normal man, right?
But that could have been 6 feet tall, back then.
3 feet a person?
No, what was
people
the
were
average
shorter.
height?
Yeah, they were shorter, but how much shorter are you going to be? Right?
Yeah,
okay, right.
I feel like if it was like twice, you could say like 8 feet would be a good, maybe stable position.
Okay,
for that.
But even 8 feet seems a little short. You're probably males are probably 4.5, right?
Right.
So you're talking minimum's 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's my take on it.
Isn't there also there's a lot of Norse mythology that surrounds giants? The giants, there's like a whole realm in Norse mythology that's like all giants.
You got the 9 realms, right?
That's where that's where like a lot of the gods get a lot of their like lineage from in that mythology. All of them are like half giants.
So you got giants, you got dwarves, right? And that's where it said a lot of the Norse gods got their weapons from.
Yeah.
Right? Like think about like Odin has a spear that once he throws it, it can never miss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that seem like from today's standards? Like we have GPS, touted armory,
right?
Where once we set this in, it's not missing its target, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you have Thor's hammer, right? Again, he throws it and it comes back to him,
right?
Right. So again, not that far fetched from modern day technology.
Ooh, there we go.
So,
well, kind of shift gears because it's it's in the neighborhood, it's adjacent, but paranormal, and like, are there people that can read minds?
Oh, okay. So how you don't know, right? You can't know for certain unless you're one of those people.
Right.
But that tells me then you can't say no.
Right.
And you may not be able to say yes, but then there's a lot of ideas around this, right? Like, have you heard of the Akashic field?
Of course not.
Okay. So do you know the Akashic field?
No, I don't.
So the Akashic field is essentially this idea that all the knowledge in the universe, past, present, and future, is contained in this kind of dimension per se. Right. And so if it's all knowledge is contained in this one dimension, if someone can tap into this, then they would have the ability to know the answer to almost anything at any given time about anything. Right. So whether it's what you're thinking or what card's going to be flipped from the deck of cards or who's going to win the Cowboys game. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, anything like this, I think there's the ability to tap into this.
Right.
Some people are said to be tapped into this. I've heard, I don't know this one. One of my buddies was telling me he was reading a book about some monks.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he's reading about this is the idea that there are different dimensions around us all the time. Right. You've heard of string theory, for example.
Yeah.
So string theory posits the idea that there are multiple dimensions. Well, what do we have? We have 4 dimensions, right? So, with time being the 4th dimension. But if there are beings who've been able to transverse other dimensions, right? Like say you got sucked into a black hole. You wouldn't be able to escape that black hole because you don't have access to these other dimensions.
Yeah.
But say they had access to these other dimensions like time. For them, they can get sucked into a black hole. And then just like we would say to a 2-dimensional figure on a sheet of paper, we'd be like, well, just get out of the paper, go around your obstacle and get back in the paper. For them, it might be as simple as saying, like, just step out of time, go back to before you were in the black hole, and now you're out of the black hole again.
So time travel is a real thing?
Oh, it's a real thing. I mean, I don't think, we can't do it. Right. And supposedly you can never travel further back in time than the point at which you create time travel, which is a paradox I don't understand. But supposedly, by all physics and theory, it's supposed to be real, right? You can travel in time. Absolutely.
I think the idea is like, the thing is the problem is with time travel is like, it all depends on like the way, this is kind of the argument of like why some people don't believe wormholes exist,
right?
Even though they do exist. I'm a firm believer just because you haven't seen it. It's like the black hole thing, it's like, people didn't believe black holes existed and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter if there's science. And then, you finally get a picture of it. And I think wormholes are the same way, but it's like time travel is one of those things where there are so many elements that are just that we don't know, because we can't understand, that people just immediately kind of say, oh, it's not real. It can't be done just because you can't do it or can't see it or can't comprehend it. It's like one of those things. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna be able to do it. But like wormholes are essentially like, there's like 2 ways to move through space. There's moving through time and there's moving through actual space, right? So like a wormhole we know exists, right? And that is moving particles through one point in space to another, right? So wouldn't it make sense, hypothetically, to be able to move particles through one point in time and another if you're already able to move stuff through one dimension instantly?
There are already particles that can go backwards in time. Right?
Okay.
Like if you look at a tachyon.
Technically light is the same way. Light technically can go backwards in time. That's the whole argument is like, because of the way light reaches and reflects.
Right.
There's like this idea of like a solar mirror. So essentially like a solar mirror would be like a way to view time in reverse without actually time traveling. So essentially like, for example, right, if you were to go 100 light years away right now and you were to scope right back into the Earth, what would you see? You would see Earth 100 years ago, right?
So 100 million, yeah.
Yeah. However much time it takes for light to travel, right? So, let's say hypothetically, we go there and we take a look and we'd see, right now, the war has just ended. People are dressed up in like it's 1920.
So so if there's someone 64 million light years away from Earth, if they had a telescope and they could look at Earth, then they would be seeing the extinction of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's what they would be seeing.
Right.
So that's like the theory of like the solar mirror is like the idea of like putting a mirror so far in space and then using a telescope to look at the mirror of what's being reflected back at Earth. So then you could see stuff in the past.
So did I experience time travel when I arrived at Lyon and I saw that the faculty was using blue books?
Sure was it? Is it Scantrons?
Is that time travel?
When people are still using the term Xerox, I think we're a little far back.
Yeah. All right. Paper timesheets. Okay. So just asking.
There's a lot of ways to time travel.
Oh, right? Yes. I may have experienced in my own minor way, but this one I can buy, and now this one I can kind of wrap my mind around. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit of a, it's just, aliens too big. So
here's the argument with aliens, though. Even if you don't believe aliens that came here, do you believe that aliens exist at all? Because surely the universe is so massive.
There's life form somewhere. Where I don't. Yeah, but
What's the kind of formula, the Drake equation, right? And there's been holes poked in this, but essentially it's the idea. Think about it. Like even our galaxy, I think, has closer to 200 billion stars. But even if you average it out and you say there's 100 billion stars per galaxy, right? And think about it this way: we have one sun. But then there's 100 billion suns just in our galaxy, which I think there's closer to 200 by some counts. That means there's 200 billion suns in our galaxy, right? If our one sun has 9 planets, and at some point it's said that it might have had as many as like 20 to 30 planets, right? And they've just kind of gotten flung into outer space with orbits.
Or sucked into Jupiter in particular.
Or somewhere,
Big
right?
Fuck.
Right.
And
so the idea that there aren't other planets out there that are kind of in the quote unquote Goldilocks zone, right? Where you can't have not just microbial life, but intelligent life. Something like us. But the problem that I think people run into with this is that you have to be essentially at the same stages or greater in order to communicate with one another.
That was the whole point of a I was just telling you about that, trying to get with Dr. Birkencraw about the idea of like, I wanted to do a poem called Desolation, where it's essentially like we're, doing these radio signals, reaching out to stars and planets, but nobody's communicating back. Because I got down this rabbit hole of that because of like, the problem is like communicating with other life forms, even if they do exist, it's so incredibly minute because everything has to be exactly right. They have to be looking for radio signals from that specific direction at that specific microbe instant in time, and they have to be there in the first place.
They have to have the technology to even be able to do that.
It's like they might be civilized, maybe they're like hunter gatherers, you know, like you don't know. But the other thing too that also I think makes it more likely is like we now know how like we exist from like a stellar instance, from a cosmic perspective. The things that you look for in life form is you need to have Jupiter is the big key in why we exist the way we exist, because you always want to look for a planet in the Goldilocks zone that is shielded by other larger planets, because the problem is there's so many cosmic events that happen that over the course of time stuff usually happens. Now the reason why stuff doesn't happen to us as much is because Jupiter is this massive just shield. Jupiter has literally stopped so many life-ending threats over the hundreds of millions of years that, life form has been the way it is on Earth. So it's like you need that's how like scientists look for that stuff, is they look for like Goldilocks zone, which they can actually they know how to measure Goldilocks zones from different stars, depending on if it's, like a sun like ours, or if it's, a bigger star, a larger star, or maybe it's older. There's all these factors that go into where the Goldilocks zone is. So they know how to look for it. So I imagine like has to happen, right?
It's gotta happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know that aliens have actually ever visited Earth, but there's a lot of evidence that points to the idea that it might have happened.
Yeah.
And like anything else, if you can't definitively show me and tell me that it hasn't happened,
Right.
then I would err on the side of caution and say anything's plausible until I know it's not. Right.
Well, that is going to be a great place to wrap it up, because bringing the truth.
Bringing the 101, baby.
Truth 101. We hope that we can get you back a few more times. We got, if you have other stabbing stories, please, please, let us know. But
me getting stabbed or me stabbing others?
All of the above. Yeah, that's even better. Yeah, we'll let it go. Part deux. So we'll let we'll leave all the listeners in suspense for that one. So potential Nicolas Patillo assault. Who knows? But that's Yaptopia. Thanks again, Nicolas.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and thank you, Jason. As always, your intergalactic knowledge is impressive. I was like an amateur with you guys.
I told you earlier, I was telling him, I was like, when I was really young, not really young, but like when I first got to high school, my big goal was I wanted to go to college for astrophysics, but I didn't realize that math exists, and
no, it's But thanks again for listening to Yaptopia. We'll be coming to you once a week with whatever, it's that's what Yaptopia is. Truth seeking, finding truth seeking. What else? Hard hitting journalism.
Yeah.
Celebrity interviews. Don't know about that quite yet, but
I would say we got a celebrity right here.
We have a celebrity right here.
If you've been stabbed by a witch doctor, I think you count. You
got a certain panache. The Beverly Hills crowd will want to hear from you. Yeah. But thank you again for listening to Yaptopia. Please like and subscribe us. Take care. Bye.